Okay, friends, very good morning. Today we are going to discuss about laser diodes. So, what are the laser diodes? So, first of all, see what are the main basic concepts of these laser diodes. The response time should be lesser than 1 nanosecond. The spectral width should be 2 nanometers, capable of coupling 10 to 100 milliwatts of power into small cores and small MFT OFFs. So these are the properties or these are the main basic points of the laser diodes. So laser action is the result of three key processes: absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Before going this, what is the definition of laser? Light amplification stimulated emission by radiation. This is known as laser diodes. So here three figures are there. These three figures indicates the laser diode key transition process, that is absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Okay, absorption means then the electron from lower energy level to higher energy level will be excited by observing the light, by observing the energy of the particles known as h mu 1 by 2. It absorbs that light energy and it will be excited to higher energy states. Next, what is spontaneous emission? So, when the electron is in the higher energy level, without applying any external energy, it can be excited to ground state. That is known as spontaneous emission. Next, what is stimulated emission? So, to fall the electron from higher energy levels to lower energy levels, we are applying some energy, some light energy. So, we are applying some external energy. This is known as stimulated emission. So E2. So the external energy plus the electron re-exciting from E2 to E1, it absorbs two types of energies. That is known as H mu 12 and H mu 12. These two are in phase only, same direction. They will be obtained. So H mu 1 by 2, H mu 1 by 2, these two are in phase. Why means the laser diode exhibits the properties of monochromatic and coherence property. Okay. Laser diodes population inversion and pumping technique. So these are also the two key concepts, three key sections involved in the laser diodes. So see, the radiation in one type of laser diode configuration is generated within a Fabry-Perot cavity resonator. Okay, the cavity is much smaller, being approximately 250 to 500 micrometers long in longitudinal, 5 to 15 meters wide in lateral, and 0.1 to 0.2 micrometer thickness in transverse. Fabry-Perot cavity resonator diagram should be like this. There should be longitudinal size, there should be lateral size, optical and carrier confinement layers, back side and front side there should be the dielectric reflecting layers. Cavity sides are very rough here. Cavity sides are rough in order to produce the reflections. The longitudinal size, the cavity ends are decayed on the crystal planes. Okay, the cavity ends are decayed, and then in that places we are placing the two flat mirrors. Okay, so lasing spot transverse size, lasing spot transverse size. In far field pattern, the emission of the laser diode is shown in the figure. Two flat partially reflecting mirrors are directed towards each other to enclose Fabry-Perot cavity resonator. Okay, the purpose of mirrors is to establish a strong optical feedback in the longitudinal direction. The feedback mechanism converts the device into an oscillation. Laser diode. This amplification occurs for selected wavelengths, also called laser modes. They can be reflected and forth towards the cavity. For lasing to occur, the optical gain of the selected modes must exceed the optical loss during one round trip through the cavity. This process is referred to as an optical feedback. For every one round trip, the gain of the selected modes must exceed the optical loss. So this is the optical feedback cavity resonator, which is situated between the between the optical confinement layers, and on the front and back sides two partially mirrors are placed, and the optical output is taken from the optical feedback. This is also one of the PN junction diode for optical cavity. The figure of Fabry-Perot cavity inside the active region. So what are the modes and threshold conditions of the optical fiber? So the optical radiation within the resonance cavity of laser diode sets up a pattern of electric magnetic field lines called the modes of a cavity. These lines are separated into two independent sets of transverse electric and transverse magnetic fields. Each set of modes can be described in terms of longitudinal, lateral, and transverse electromagnetic field along the major axis of the cavity. Next, these longitudinal modes are related to the length of the L of cavity and determine the principal structure of the frequency of the spectrum of emitted optical radiation. Next, what are lateral modes? So these lateral modes lies in the plane of PN junction. Okay, lie in the plane of PN junction. These modes depending on the side walls and width of the cavity, which determines the shape of lateral profile of laser beam. Okay, transverse modes associated with EM field and beam profile in the direction perpendicular to the plane of PN junction and determine the laser characteristics and threshold current density. So see, lasing is the condition at which the light amplification becomes possible in the laser diode. Requirement for lasing is that population inversion be achieved. Okay, population inversion also can be achieved. To determine the lasing condition, considered electromagnetic propagation in the longitudinal direction. So E of Z of t is equal to this equation 1 for the propagation in EM propagation in longitudinal direction. E of Z comma t is equal to I of Z into exponent of j omega t minus beta z. Okay, for both magnitude and current EM propagation, electric and magnetic modes. Next, where I of Z is equal to, it determines the optical field intensity, that is equal to I of 0. Okay, then again I of 0. I of Z is equal to I of naught into Z into experimental value of Z into tau g h mu minus alpha h v. Okay, So experimental value of z into whole power tau g of h mu minus alpha of h mu. Okay, what is the here? Alpha defines, tau defines, and the g defines. Okay, and also the z distance along the lasing cavity. Lasing occurs when the gain of one or several modes is sufficient to exceed the optical loss during the one round trip through the cavity, that is z is equal to 2l. During this one trip, only the fractions r1 and r2 of the optical radiations are reflected. Okay, or reflected from the two laser ends 1 and 2 respectively, where r1 and r2 are the mirror reflexives or Fresnel reflection coefficients. Okay, r1 and r2 are the mirror reflexives or Fresnel reflection coefficients. R is equal to n1 minus n2 by n1 plus n2 whole square. The lasing condition becomes in z place we are taking as 2l. Okay. At lasing threshold, a steady state oscillation takes place. The magnitude and phase of the returned wave must be equal to those of the original wave. This gives the condition I of 2L is equal to I naught for amplitude, experimental value of minus J2 beta L is equal to 1 for phase. This equation 4 gives the information about resonant frequency of the Fabry-Perot cavity resonator, and the equation 3 gives the information about which modes have sufficient gain for sustained oscillations.